Working with global management consulting partnership Kearny, the report asked leading CEOs of companies with over $1 billion in revenue about their AI vision and thoughts. The report includes very important details like hurdles to AI integration and how older companies view AI versus those younger digitally native organizations. This comprehensive study has some of the most important information about the future of AI that has ever been collected. Stephen, you had a chance to read over this report. What are some of the things that you picked up on?
Well, it's actually a really interesting report. As you mentioned, this is basically, as far as I know, this is kind of the largest report or the largest study of its kind where CEOs were asked about their AI plans and their staff was asked as well. And this is really illuminating. I mean, frankly, the biggest takeaway from me for me on this is that CEOs are perhaps overconfident in their ability to bring AI to the surface and the ability of their staffs and organizations to put that into practice, and the desire from their company or from their customers to buy into this. This doesn't mean AI is dead or doomed or any of that. I mean, this is a much more nuanced study, as happens from, science and math and so on. So if we look a little bit under the surface, we can see a couple of really interesting patterns. One of them is that there's a divergence between traditional companies and sort of digital native companies when it comes to AI. The traditional companies are taking a very different approach toward implementing AI, whereas the digital natives are running off a little bit faster there. As I said, another aspect is that CEOs overall seem to be overconfident, or maybe their staff are just underconfident. So big telling number. 78% of CEOs strongly believe that they are ready and able to guide their companies into this new AI world. But only 28% of mid-level managers share this optimism. That is, well, I guess probably not surprising to some of our listeners, but it is a big story. And it shows throughout the rest of this data set. CEOs are really intent on driving forward all of their AI plans, while their staff that are actually tasked with doing this have a lot more concerns. They are concerned about whether they'll be able to do it, whether they'll be able to actually bring it to market, whether it'll actually be transformative. And in many cases, the CEOs have heard this message too. So there's certainly a lot of skepticism there in terms of whether AI will be a transformative technology for their businesses or simply a way to increase efficiency. And furthermore, there's a concern, I think, from the CEOs that many of their customers aren't actually pushing for AI-based solutions. Only 24% of the CEOs here said that clients are explicitly saying we want AI-based solutions, whereas the other 3/4 of the CEOs are saying, yeah, customers aren't really pushing us in this direction. We're really moving forward because we feel like we have to. The same is seen when you look at things like AI governance. Only 22% of organizations have what would be effective AI governance platforms. Only 39% have change management in place. 2/3 say that they are concerned about the ability of low quality data or disconnected data being integrated into AI models. So overall, there's a lot of skepticism. There's a lot of concern. There's a bit of overconfidence. There's a bit of moving to where they think the puck is going to be going. And I think that really kind of percolates down through what we see in the industry as well. So, Tom, you and I and Alistair are talking about AI-based applications and AI solutions every week here on the Rundown. I think a lot of what this survey says and what this report says really jibes with what we're seeing from the industry, that, in many cases, this technology has gotten out ahead of us a little bit. But I do think that people are getting a little smarter about it. And I think that they're ready to say, maybe we're not quite ready with this. Maybe this is not quite a transformative technology yet. Maybe we should be focusing on data, focusing on governance, focusing on building readiness and figuring out what the best applications are for this technology instead of charging forward with it. So very, very interesting, really cool study. I do recommend checking it out if you can using the links in our program notes.